fear of not being loved. And that's how powerful love is. Love is so powerful, you'll do just about anything to get it. All right, so what do you feel is your identity? I feel like my identity is non-existent. Now, that's the end game, right? But let's go back to the beginning and what I thought my identity was. And it's crazy because my therapist, Megan, she's actually dope, here in Jacksonville. And, she had me ask that question for the next session that we had, like, what is your identity from childhood to now? And I went through a lot of those identities that I thought who I was, you know what I'm saying? And what I aligned myself with. And a lot of times, at one point in time, I considered myself to be like this nice guy, right? And when it comes to our identity, anything that we feel like we are, anything that goes against that, we will not do it. You know what I mean? Like if the if the situation arises for you to handle some shit, kind of like something a nice guy wouldn't do, you ain't gonna do that shit. And that poses as an issue a lot of times for some of us. And just aligning so what I'm saying is that I aligned myself with being this nice guy, right? So anything outside of being a nice guy, I wasn't gonna do it. I don't know if it's necessarily fear, or I think it's more fear of losing people and like losing that love, what I thought I had was like attached to. It was like an attachment, not so much really love. But throughout my life, looking back, yeah, the nice guy shit, the good boy, the charmer, the pickup artist, the wannabe bad boy bullshit, all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like what pain had put me into. Trauma, let's call it that. Trauma had sent me into various lanes that I thought that I aligned myself with that would make me feel better. And sometimes it did, depending on what was being done, that is. But in all seriousness, that trauma put me on a path that that was the point of no return. And with that, I found myself lost because I kept being something that wasn't necessarily essential with my soul, if that makes sense. I was doing things outside of what my soul was to be. Rather, I was doing things for the ego. I was doing things to get a certain reaction from people, from women. You know what I mean? Like I really was lost trying to find love and the sense of security or support system, and that identity crisis that I was going through, man. I forgot I really did lose sight of who I was and what I stood for. I didn't even know what I stood for. I don't think I ever did. I think since I was a child, I was always just trying to fit in, right? So, I never had any solidarity to base myself on. Depending on, I was in survival mode, really. Just trying to survive, trying to make sure that I did not crumble, that I stayed afloat. And it's a very trying position to be in when you realize that you are not able to be, like yourself. You're not comfortable being yourself or doing certain things for fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being loved. And that's how powerful love is. Love is so powerful, you'll do just about anything to get it. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, that's how crazy it is. Like, if you feel that desperate, you will do anything to find fucking love, to feel loved. You'll stay in a fucked up ass relationship. You'll stay at a fucked up ass job. You'll go visit your toxic ass family, even though they treat you like shit. You know what I'm saying? These are examples, you know what I mean? But like you'll wear certain clothes and shit just to fit in with people. And you don't even like the shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll watch certain shows that you listen to music that you don't even fucking like. Like, that's how crazy, that's how much love affects us as humans, man. And it's crazy that we'll do anything for something that we already fucking have. Like, love is just already there. And which brings me to the current point. So Eckhart Tolle has this book called The Power of Now, right? And he discusses the idea that you're attached to an identity is nothing but your ego trying to resurface. When you're in the present moment, you're being, and that's what we are. If somebody asks me today, what's my identity is just being in the present moment, and like just living right there, responding in that present moment, whatever the moment dictates. That's what I am. I'm in the being. I'm a human being. You know what I'm saying? So trying to make sure that I remain authentic as possible is it can be nerve-wracking, because that's also can be the ego trying to hold me to an identity again, versus just being and having not worry about anything, like no stress, no depression, no anxiety, none of those things being like an issue, but just to live in the said moment and move from and go from there. That's how I feel about like identities and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, aligned with a lot of things. The whole thing. I mean, I read up a lot like on alpha males and beta males and shit like that. Yeah, I look at that more so as like mental awareness and understanding things. You're understanding your surroundings. It's strategy, if you will, and you have to have strategy. I mean, a ship that leaves, the dock without a destination is gonna go where? We don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But so to have, something that, guidelines that kind of help you be a better man, if you will, be a better person, and not to take advantage of other individuals is, I don't see anything, ineffective like that. I think that's pretty effective for me. I find that to be effective. But where I was going with it is that not having an identity anymore. So, I mean, to answer that question fully, and after saying all that bullshit, is that I no longer have an identity. I focus on being in the present moment. Now, I'm human. A lot of this, my programming can try to pull me back into an egotistical mindset. And whether somebody points it out, criticizes, or even if I recognize it myself, I bring myself back to that present moment and focus on the being. And that's pretty much it. So I want to try to stay away from fucking identities. The worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. If I'm being honest with you guys about the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life, was realizing that life was not what I thought it was in my illusions, in my mind, from relationships, work, this, all these things I had made up in my head that this was how life goes, right? And then to actually engage and look at life the way it is, and see things for yourself in person. It's not what TV movies made it out to be, especially like when it comes to relationships, like trying to you can say, oh, you just didn't meet the right one. Yeah, of course, yeah, sure, obviously not the right one, but it's more so how I was going about moving with when I did get the lady that I had, you know what I mean? Like doing things, like doing everything, trying to do everything right is not the way to move in a relationship. And it took a while for me to understand that, from multiple experiences of like women, young ladies, girls, all of that, you know what I mean, throughout my life, to see that is not the way to move. And it doesn't mean that you don't treat women with kindness. I don't want that to be misconstrued. What it does mean is that you don't operate from that of a boy, you operate from that of a man. That is the difference. And then looking back at childhood, and like, not even, we'll go further from childhood, like how relationships were. Like I remember being young and thinking that, when I get older, I'll meet this girl, I'll have kids, and then I'll get married, excuse me, and then have kids, and this is how life is going to be. But little did I know that in order to get to marriage, you have to engage in a lot of challenges in relationships that your ass was never prepared for. Your spoiled ass was never prepared to deal with somebody who didn't want to do what you didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really just sit back like, damn, man, I really don't like this shit. And when I'm done with something, I dropped it. That was it. That was literally, that's how spoiled I was. And I didn't value your feelings. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was like a kid playing with a toy. If I don't want to play it anymore, fuck it, I'm done. That's it. Shut off everything. And and truthfully, I learned that that's a trauma response. Like the way that I was moving, is fear. It's running from things, like not being able to face things head on. And that's where I found myself. I found myself not being able to face things head on. And it was very immature. It's very boyish of me. And, you're going to go through things in relationships with your friends, with your coworkers, with people that, with women, people that you claim to love. You're going to go through that. They're not always going to do everything that you want them to do. But it was a trauma response. I didn't realize I was living in trauma for so long, and like I've been living in this model for such a long time. You just don't realize it. And it's like a part of you. Your anxiety kicks in. It's ready to run like fucking hell. And the crazy part is I'm really not exactly sure where a lot of that stuff came from. But getting back to the worst feeling I've ever felt was like, again, just illusions. Believing that marriages were sacred, and that, no one that I know would ever, step out in their marriage. And I got to I've seen stuff like in my teenage years of like people that you never thought would do things to their spouse, and just to do it, and it just leave you astounded. And then to go to the military and think that, again, marriage is sacred. And then you learn that one of your supervisors is getting down with, that's married, is getting down with some other cats in the office, rather. Squadron, office, whatever you want to call it. And it's just like these feelings, like I was made to believe that life was this Disney movie, right? And then learning that the Disney movie is actually a Tim Burton film. That's what I would equate this shit to. It was a fucking nightmare before Christmas this is Halloween, you know what I mean? And it's just like, life is not what you thought it was, and you have to deal with, you have to accept that. And that was my problem, again, being spoiled all through, like, my childhood, is that life doesn't always go the way you expect it to go. And I'm stubborn. I get what I want. And if a person didn't do what I want them to do, I would throw a tantrum, because that's what, to me, you know, when somebody gets upset for you not doing what they want them to do, they were taught that the only way that you can show love is by doing what they told you to do. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, you look at a lot of people that throw tantrums. Like, I'm pretty sure women watching this, and you think about the relationship that you probably were in with me, or even like other guys where they didn't get their way and they acted like a fucking toddler, because that's the only way they know to deal with that situation. Because for them, when you don't do what we're all being taught love in different ways. So if you don't do what I say, and I'm used to getting what I want from my parents, and when I don't get it, it means you don't love me. You feel me? Like that. It's like I'm basically showing you that I don't love you. That's why I didn't do what you asked me to do. So it feels like you're withholding love. So that's what people come to. That's what I'm saying. Like, love is so powerful. You'll do just about anything to get it. You'll throw tantrums. You'll fall out in stores. You'll yell at whoever trying to get that love and the accolades. You'll go on social media and claim self-love and take pictures and post them. You'll do TikToks. You'll do whatever it is to get that validation or love, really, to be heard and loved. That's really what we what we strive to do. And it's crazy. But that feeling that I had when I just had my heart set on a lot of things, like my life is just going to be great once we get this thing going, be it with this relationship or with this friend, and then when it didn't go the way I it went in my illusion, in my mind, damn, that fucking sucks. But it's just life, and learning to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really where I am at this juncture in my life, is learning to accept things for what they are and not what I want them to be. Because they say that you don't see the world as it is, you see it as you are. And it's like learning to see things from a different perspective. And that comes with growth, and with a lot of things. But yeah, that worst feeling I had was when I realized that Disney World was just a fucking illusion. Okay, Thanksgiving this year. This year is I think this year is down south to my home, 305. So this year for Thanksgiving, I'm looking forward to just spending time with my brother. You know what I'm saying? My best friend. You know what I mean? HDs, and the family, and just for us to come together and laugh, listen to music, have therapeutic conversations, healthy conversations, like anything really. But and then you see other, a lot of people that I've grown to love down there, living all those years in Miami. I look forward to seeing them and seeing the smiles on their face, and just like realizing we're living in the moment. That's probably the best thing I'm looking forward to, is just living in the present moment with the people that I value. That's like what's important to me right now. From here on out, is like when I'm in that moment with you, to not worry about the anxiety that I have, or from the looking at the future, or the depression that I have looking back at mistakes I've made, and just trying to again be a better person. Thanksgiving is it's always great because of the food portions, for sure. The naps after eating. Like if I look back at like my grandma's house, my grandma Sarah Long. Shout out to my grandma, I love you. Like the many times, the many Thanksgivings that we've had watching football, eating, turkey, ham, roast beef, collard greens, macaroni and cheese. My grandma got one of the best fucking macaroni and cheeses you ever gonna have in your fucking life. Cornbread, my mom's pound cakes. For me, sweet potato pie. Fuck pumpkins. Fuck pumpkins. No pumpkin pie at my house. Or anywhere I go. But what else? Like other desserts. My dad's stuffing that he makes that I forget what the hell this shit is called. With the something gravy. It's some North Carolina shit. But daddy be getting down. But like this one for me is going to be it's interesting because it's like Latin culture, and I just love doing things differently within the culture, being able to have it like acceptance of things, appreciating the differences amongst the cultures. So I mean, like I said, I look forward to it. The food, the people, the drinks. You feel me? I'm trying to be fucked up. White Claws for me. White Claws, I'm a healthy cat. And maybe even some Florida Kanye. You gotta have some Florida Kanye. What else to drink, man? Shit. What did somebody tell me? The Tito's and like lemonade, I heard recently. Somebody told me about that. So maybe some of that. Just trying different things. Or even the rum chata with the Fireball, which tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Just really sitting there and embracing like everybody that's there for Thanksgiving, talking to different people, getting their different perspectives, learning from each other's story, seeing each other laugh, dancing to music, vibing, just that, everything that encompasses being and Thanksgiving with family. And I'm very grateful for my Air Force family that I built with my best friend. I'm grateful for the family I was born into, the many memories that we had for Thanksgiving. The other families that I've created along the way, you guys all know who you are. I value you so fucking much, man. Like a part of this journey that I've been on of healing and realizing that I was the fucking problem too. And learning from those mistakes, and still learning from those mistakes, and it's just been it's been incredible. I'm not gonna lie, it's been incredible. I feel so fucking good right now. I feel amazing. Just being able to say that I've made it through everything that I've gone through, and look forward to say the same thing 10 years from now. But it's just people ask me all the time like how you feel. I say I feel amazing because of the opportunities I've had each day to wake up. Each day is a separate life. What Seneca says, ancient philosopher. Each day you wake up is a separate life. So whenever God, the universe, God's son, whoever you believe in, whoever wakes you up and you're able to see a new day, and just be grateful for it, and go ahead and make the most of it. Forgive people for yourself. Extend the grace for people that were in pain, that caused you pain, and just put yourself first, like really invest in yourself, self-care, all those things. And I know I got a little bit off topic talking about this goddamn Thanksgiving shit, but I'm just like pretty motivated, inspired by a lot of things that I've seen in my life. But I do want to say that Thanksgiving is going to be a great time. I look forward to Thanksgiving. Pretty much all I got to say about Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have a very safe Thanksgiving if you're traveling. just as much as I will be. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one who checks out these videos and clips and all that stuff. Hopefully, it's just I feel like God using me as a vessel to spread awareness to a lot of things and being the life's purpose and just to heal. Really, just be this spirit. Just focus on your spirit and trying to improve your spirit and add more positive energy than negative energy out here. So, anyway, that's all I got. I'm out.